PRINCE2 methodology can be used for almost every project and offers a great deal of efficiency with PRINCE2 principles, themes, and processes. Hello. This is Ryan from Invensis Learning, and we will be discussing the top 50 most frequently asked PRINCE2 interview questions. Let's take a look at the agenda for this session. First, we will briefly discuss the history of PRINCE2 and various market trends that it has shown over the years. After this, we will cut to the chase and discuss the various interview questions and answers. I hope you are clear with the agenda. Before we begin, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and tell us in the comments about your best and not so best moments from job interviews. Now, without any further ado, let's take a look at a few PRINCE2 trends. A recent survey conducted by IG did a talent gap analysis and found out a significantly bright future for project management related job roles. There is an expected 33% growth in job roles in the global market. This will create at least 88 million new job roles by 2027 for aspiring project managers, associates, team members, etc. And not just the professional benefits, PRINCE2 also offers a great deal of financial well-being with as much as $98,000 USD average salary for a PRINCE2 certified professional. With a steady job market and promising financial growth, professionals have a great opportunity to make their mark in the project management profession. Let's take a look at the top 50 frequently asked PRINCE2 questions that your interviewer can ask. What is PRINCE2 methodology? Projects in controlled environments, also known as PRINCE2, is a globally recognized approach that is utilized to manage projects. The world's most widely adopted methodology, PRINCE2 is in the public domain and offers non-proprietorial best practice guidance on project management. Developed as an information systems project for UK government standards, PRINCE2 is recognized as the most prominent project management strategy. It gives importance to dividing the projects into manageable and controllable stages. Embraced in numerous nations across the globe, including the UK, Western European countries, and Australia, PRINCE2 is used to convey the change and develop new products or services. Introduced to address the common causes of project failure. PRINCE2 is an adaptable strategy that aids you through the essentials to be successful by paying little heed to nature. Based upon 7 standards, topics, and procedures, PRINCE2 can be custom-made to meet your particular prerequisites. PRINCE2 can assist project managers to deliver on time, within budget, scope, and with the right quality. It is a structured approach that helps in improvising the skills for accurate outputs. The method follows an organized and controlled framework from the beginning until the end. What are the key features of PRINCE2? PRINCE2 gives a general dialect that brings together the project management, with external suppliers and colleagues, with a typical comprehension of what they are trying to accomplish. Why it's essential to deliver the project and convey the advantages, estimate the timescales, and all that is vital for its success. These are on the whole viewpoints where PRINCE2 can assist organizations with managing their projects better. PRINCE2 creates the beginning of the project and its perpetuation depending on the continued existence of a possible business case. PRINCE2 helps businesses to concentrate on working on the right projects, at the right time for the right reasons. PRINCE2 has got a few significant features that make it unique. It is a non-proprietary technique. The planning approach is product-based. PRINCE2 emphasizes managing and controlling the project. Integrated with the framework of procedures and themes, PRINCE2 training addresses the planning, allocation, monitoring, and controlling of all the features of project performance. A PRINCE2 project has the following characteristics: a characterized life cycle and quantifiable business products, an indicated measure of assets, an organization structure, with described duties, to deal with the venture. What is the PRINCE2 process model? The PRINCE2 is a process model methodology that is perfectly tailored with specific activities. The various processes involved in the PRINCE2 methodology are as follows. Starting up a project. Initiating a project. Directing a project. Controlling a stage. Managing a stage boundary. Managing product delivery. Closing a project. Explain the PRINCE2 structure in brief. The PRINCE2 structure comprises 7 guiding principles that form the foundation of the whole PRINCE2 methodology. Everything that is involved in the PRINCE2 methodology enforces these principles to the fullest extent. After that comes the themes and processes that complete the whole project management process. What are the various PRINCE2 principles? The principles of the PRINCE2 methodology are good practices that guide project managers and ensure that they are being managed using PRINCE2. Continued business justification. This confirms that there is a justifiable reason to begin the project which, though it may evolve, should be valid throughout its life. For instance, in an Axelos case study on using ITIL and PRINCE2 together, a company was looking to establish an offshore service desk at minimum cost, in addition to its existing one, to ensure greater capacity ahead of an IT product release. Along the way, other perceived benefits emerged, such as extra cover for disaster recovery for business continuity. However, these would come at an extra cost and would need additional time to set up. The project manager and the project board chose to stick to the original business case justification and did not authorize any additional expenditure. The cost of missing the deadline was deemed to be more expensive than the cost of retrofitting disaster recovery at a later stage. Learn from experience. Lessons from the past should be applied in ongoing projects. Lessons from ongoing projects should be documented for future use. It is a common practice for companies to recruit a project manager based on his or her experience. Defined roles and responsibilities. The roles and responsibilities of the different levels of the project team are to be defined so as to satisfy the interests of primary stakeholders. For instance, some of the common roles assigned in a project are manager, sponsor, project board, team members, administrator, and so on. Manage by stages. According to PRINCE2 best practice guidance, a project should be broken into at least 2 stages for better management and control. It is said that planning the number of stages needs to take into account risk and cost. Manage by exception. Tolerances are set for different project objectives so as to optimize delegation of authority. Focus on products. PRINCE2 advocates an output-oriented approach to a project, and to that end, product definitions, quality, and other criteria are integral to achieving successful outcomes. Some experts, in fact, suggest integrating PRINCE2 with Six Sigma for process improvement projects. According to a template made available by Axelos, the product description should cover the following points: purpose, composition, derivation, format, presentation, development skills required, quality criteria, quality tolerance, quality method, quality skills required, and quality responsibilities. Tailor to suit the project environment. The PRINCE2 project management methodology is designed to be customizable to the specific needs of the project and its environment. These 7 principles of the project management approach are the basis of the definition of a PRINCE2 project. What are the PRINCE2 themes? It describes the aspects of project management that must be addressed continually and in parallel throughout the project. 7 themes explain the specific treatment required by PRINCE2 for various project management disciplines. They are set up towards the start of the project and then monitored until the end. Projects kept on a track that continuously addresses these topics. Business case theme. Organization theme. Quality theme. Plans theme. Risk theme. Change theme. Progress theme. What are the benefits of the PRINCE2 methodology? PRINCE2 as a business approach suggests a configuration for businesses that can follow while managing projects towards producing useful results that gives you a standard system, procedures, and language for projects. The following are the benefits of PRINCE2. PRINCE2 approach assures that the resources are utilized and controlled in the right way. It manages the risks and challenges in the project. Assures flexible decision points. PRINCE2 assists in frequent reviews on the progress of the project plan and business situation. PRINCE2 is a mechanism for managing deviations from the project plan. What are the best practices in PRINCE2 methodology? The following best practices can be implemented while working with the PRINCE2 methodology. Focus more on the initiation stage to avoid any repercussions in the further stage of the project. More focus on an efficient risk management structure to deal with issues at an early stage. Communication management and complete visibility on the progress of all activities in each of the processes. Making sure the project adheres to the PRINCE2 principles at all times. What are the various PRINCE2 processes? There are 7 processes in PRINCE2 project management. The 7 processes are as follows. Starting up a project, it includes developing a project mandate that answers all the strategic inquiries concerning the project and clarifies the motivation behind the project. Initiating a project, it is about realizing what needs to be done to complete the project. The project manager outlines how to manage cost, time, benefits, risk, quality, etc. Directing a project, it is about progressing from the starting point to the finish of the project. Controlling a stage, it is when the project manager issues the work packages, which break the project into manageable activities for more efficiency. Managing a stage boundary, in this process, the project directors along with the board managers audit each stage. and the board chooses whether to proceed with the project or not. Managing product delivery. Managing project delivery is how well the team manager and the project manager control the communication between them. Closing a project. It consists of the activities required to document the project deliverables and hand over them to the concerned parties. What is the role of a project manager? The project manager deals with the enterprise in a holistic manner on an everyday basis. The project manager keeps track of the task for the benefit of the project board within the requirements and coordinates all through the venture with the project board and project assurance. The project manager is responsible for pitching ideas for projects that are assigned, plan the budget, monitor, and report on the project with project management tools. Project managers are the bridge between the management and the team entrusted with the execution of the project. They ensure that the scope of the project is comprehensive and regular reporting on the advancement of the task is updated, and also provide that the project is right on schedule. Responsible for all of the PRINCE2 processes except for the directing a project process, project managers need to plan the sequence of activities to achieve control over the track of implementing the right strategies and complete the project on time. A project manager must have some skills and should find ways to develop them. The skills should include excellent communication skills, cost management, an ability to understand the quality process, process change requests, document user needs, planning and monitor the project. Leadership and team building qualities includes teamwork, problem solving, reporting, facilitating meetings, and conducting workshops. The ability to anticipate problems and to be proactive in solving them. In other words, a good project manager does not sit around and wait for things to happen. What is PRINCE2 tailoring? Tailoring refers to the proper utilization of PRINCE2 on the given task, guaranteeing that there is a right measure of planning, control, governance, and use of the processes and themes. Tailoring is available in the PRINCE2 course, while the PRINCE2 maturity model attains embedding. To be specific, in most projects, PRINCE2 is managed with tailoring and not embedding. Even though PRINCE2 can be utilized to run a particular project, it can likewise be tailored by organizations to make their own PRINCE2-based project management strategy. The utilization of tailoring in PRINCE2 can be emphasized, and the components of PRINCE2 can be blended with corporate approaches, procedures, terminology, and different aspects to make a technique that suits the organization's culture and nature of projects the team undertakes. The following aspects of PRINCE2 2017 may be tailored. The terminology may be changed to suit other standards or policies provided it is applied consistently. Tailoring is as necessary as any other process or a principle in PRINCE2. Principles should not be tailored as they are universal. Effective tailoring requires skills, experience, and judgment. There is no single right solution for tailoring. Tailoring does not mean excluding any of the PRINCE2 core structural components. It is important to ensure tailoring adds value. How do you manage the progress in a PRINCE2 environment? Managing progress in a project means you are very well able to manage the costs, quality, risks, time, and issues related to the project. In PRINCE2, you can manage the progress of a project in the following ways. Delegating authority from one level to another. Dividing the project into stages. Timely progress reports. Exceptions to alert the levels in case an issue occurs. What is the directing a project process in PRINCE2? The process of directing a project in PRINCE2 enables the project board to be accountable for making decisions at key stages of the project. They delegate the authority to the project manager for daily project management activities. The main objective of directing a project can be summarized as follows. To initiate the project. To deliver the project's deliverables. To close the project. Monitor and control the project management activities. Provide direction during the project. What is the objective of the process managing product delivery? The objective of the process managing product delivery is as follows. Whatever products are assigned to the team are authorized and agreed upon. There is clarity amongst the team members about the deliverables, cost, time, and quality. The deliverables are completed and delivered within the time allocated. There is clarity and timely delivery of progress report to the concerned parties. What is a risk register in PRINCE2? The risk register in PRINCE2 captures or documents all the information related to all the risks and issues associated with the project. It will contain information like the status and history of the risk along with other important information. How do risk management and strategies work in PRINCE2? Risk management in PRINCE2 works as a risk management approach document that will contain information about how the risks will be identified and dealt with within the project. The risk management strategy works in 5 steps as mentioned below. Identify, assess, plan, implement, communicate. Explain managing a stage boundary process in PRINCE2. The whole process of managing a stage boundary can be summarized as follows. The project manager updates the project board with the progress of the project stage. The project manager updates the project plan. The project manager will update the business case. The project manager will create a new stage plan. The project board will review the current stage and approve the next stage and the business plan. Explain closing a project process in PRINCE2. The whole process of closing a project can be summarized as follows. Make sure the customer requirements are being met and the user acceptance is successful for the project's deliverables. Make sure the deliverables are documented and can be supported after the project is closed. Review the performance of the project. Assess benefits and address open issues and risks. What is a business case theme? The business case theme in PRINCE2 is implemented to make sure there is clarity on a few things. These include the clarity on the objective of the project, if it's viable or not. The business case determines the feasibility of the project with respect to the resources available at hand. The theme determines if the project is desirable and deliverable or not. How does PRINCE2 impact your work performance? Your work performance will be benefited in the following ways. Be clear about project deliverables. When the PRINCE2 project management approach is embedded in a project, key strategies and deliverables are laid down at the initiation stage. As a certified PRINCE2 professional, you can participate in this process and understand its relevance. With clarity of the desired outcome, you can also perform your job responsibilities more efficiently. Control costs efficiently. Cost is one of the integral variables of a project and one of the critical aspects where management of project performance is required. By imparting knowledge about how to focus on the viability of a project with regard to its business case objectives, PRINCE2 certifications enable you to control project costs better. Cope better with risks and challenges. The risk theme of the PRINCE2 subject matter lays down the importance of a risk management strategy and how to plan and implement responses. This knowledge of how to estimate risks will help you to manage them and overcome the challenges they pose to ensure the successful delivery of a project. Take educated decisions. The principles and processes of PRINCE2 facilitate informed decision-making. The project management methodology advocates a clear-cut delineation of roles and responsibilities and recommends a process model for managing projects. PRINCE2 certified professionals are trained to ensure that project viability, desired outcomes, and defined metrics are always in focus for any decision that has to be taken. Increase customer satisfaction. PRINCE2 certification training imparts knowledge about how to understand the context of the customer environment and how to document their quality expectations. With this understanding, you can help to build better customer relationships and enhance the customer satisfaction levels that your organization attains. Work better as part of a project team. According to the Axelos Key Benefits of PRINCE2 presentation, certified PRINCE2 professionals learn how to engage with supporting teams, such as HR and IT, and work in tandem with them. Certified PRINCE2 professionals are also on the same page when it comes to implementing or embedding the methodology in a project, which makes communication within the team and with external stakeholders more streamlined. How to determine if PRINCE2 is the appropriate methodology for a project? Here are certain factors that a project qualifies as a PRINCE2 project and must be possible to demonstrate that the project applies PRINCE2's principles, meets the minimum requirements set out in the PRINCE2 themes, have project processes that satisfy the purpose and objectives of the PRINCE2 processes, either uses PRINCE2's recommended techniques or uses alternative or equivalent techniques. PRINCE2 also necessitates that for a project, there is a justifiable reason for starting the project. That justification is recorded and approved. The justification remains valid and is revalidated throughout the life of the project. How do you embed PRINCE2 in your project? In order to embed PRINCE2 within an organization, one should be well aware of the guiding principles of the project management method. Let's say, you want to run your upcoming project according to PRINCE2 principles. To do so, a few things need to be considered before you kickstart your project. Here is a look at some of them. Learn from experience. The project should be planned in accordance with the experience drawn by team members in previous projects. Continued business justification. Is there a good reason for starting the project in terms of benefiting you or your organization? Will the reason be consistent till the project ends? You need to do a cost-benefit analysis of the project in order to get apt answers to these questions. Continued business justification essentially talks about the value that the project is expected to create for your organization. The word continued is of utmost importance here. It is vital that the project continues to bring value throughout its tenure. Defined roles and responsibilities. This is an important aspect to consider before a PRINCE2 project is kicked off. Each and every member of the team should have clearly defined roles and responsibilities. This should be decided based on the relevant experience and capabilities of team members. Manage by stages. A PRINCE2 based project should be planned, controlled and monitored stage by stage. Upon the completion of each stage, management should intervene to evaluate performance, calculate resources utilized and decide whether or not the project should continue. A PRINCE2 project is divided into 7 stages, which are also referred to as the PRINCE2 processes. These are listed below. Starting up a project, developing detailed plans pre-project. Initiating a project, determining the work to achieve the deliverable. Directing a project, the project board is formed, which takes control over the project. Controlling a stage, the project is divided into several stages with distinct boundaries and each stage is controlled separately. Managing stage boundaries, wrapping up the activities at the end of one stage and preparing for the next one. Managing product delivery, managing the execution part of a project, closing a project, wrapping up. Manage by exception, tolerances are set for different project objectives so as to optimize delegation of authority. Focus on products. PRINCE2 primarily focuses on an output-oriented approach for a project where products are well-defined and delivered that meet their stated quality criteria. This results in developing a final product of the project along with other specialist products produced across the project life cycle as per management requirements. This deliverable is achieved by using product-based planning techniques and proper product descriptions. Tailor to suit the project environment. A key guiding principle of PRINCE2 is that it is tailored to match the environment, size, risk, and capability of a particular project. These factors differ with the varying complexities of projects. PRINCE2 suggests that its principles need not be embedded within a project like a prescription. Tweaks can be made to suit the specific characteristics of the project in question. What are the risks and challenges to look for while embedding PRINCE2 in your project? Maturity level of the organization. It is important for an organization to be mature enough to implement PRINCE2. The workforce and C-level executives should have clarity in terms of what is to be achieved by implementing PRINCE2 methodology and its best practices. If the organization's capability gap is large and the organization does wish to fix too much too soon, they will not be able to embed PRINCE2 successfully. Even the cultural legacy of an organization is a challenge in embedding PRINCE2. One will be able to tell if an organization's culture is ready to adopt a new project management framework by answering the below questions. What kind of project management culture exists in the organization? Whether the organization is doing the correct projects as well as doing the projects correctly? Is project management a dedicated career path in the organization? Do you get enough support, advice, and guidance from experienced project managers? Are projects being undertaken by employees on top of their day job? Solution: if you have the right answers to the above-mentioned questions, then your organization is mature enough to embed PRINCE2. Lack of willingness to change business processes. In a dynamic day-to-day environment and with increasing competition, having a rigid business process is detrimental. Organizations with inflexible business processes or unwillingness to change will be unsuccessful in effectively reaching their goals. Successful embedding of PRINCE2 will happen only if the hierarchy in the organization is in sync with the business benefits of PRINCE2. If the hierarchy is not willing to accommodate change, then embedding PRINCE2 will be an arduous task. Solution: an organization should be flexible with its business processes to implement the PRINCE2 methodology. This will enable them to get more out of their projects and in turn, their business. Project managers and consultants in the organization should champion the business benefits of embedding PRINCE2 to the stakeholders in an organization. Inadequate infrastructure support. Embedding PRINCE2 requires adequate organizational infrastructure that supports both temporary and long-term offices within the organization. If there is inadequate infrastructure support in this regard, then it will be very difficult to realize the benefits of embedding PRINCE2 in the projects. Solution: the organizational infrastructure should accommodate multiple offices, but the component groups of these offices, both temporary and long-term, must always have a clearly defined purpose and scope. For example, a support office provides administrative support to a specific project or program. This is then dissolved once the work is complete. On the other hand, a center of excellence has a permanent support role independent of the creation and completion of any individual project or program. Poor understanding of the methodology. The most important aspect for embedding PRINCE2 methodology is to have a workforce that understands the framework in the first place. The human aspect to the successful implementation of PRINCE2 is of paramount importance. The employees are an organization's best assets and, ultimately, they are the ones who will determine whether the business benefits of an organization's decision to embed PRINCE2 will actually be realized. Solution: an organization should first train their staff in PRINCE2 methodology and then look at embedding globally recognized PRINCE2 methodology for their projects. What is quality tolerance? In PRINCE2, there are tolerances specified for cost, risk, time, quality, etc. Tolerance is nothing but a performance range. Quality tolerance, on the other hand, is the tolerance set for the quality criteria of each of the products. The quality tolerance is documented in the project product description and each of the product descriptions of the deliverables. What are the roles and responsibilities of a project board? The project board will consist of key members of the project and is chaired by the project sponsor and key stakeholders, including the project manager. The responsibilities of a project board can be summarized as follows: accountability for the project, authorization for key decisions in the project, releasing funds for the project, giving support and direction to the project manager, ensuring communication in the project team. What are the aspects of project management that PRINCE2 can control? Costs: it's essential to prepare a budget plan before starting any project. The project has to be affordable. However, project managers may begin given a specific budget plan. There will be many factors that can lead to overspending and, perhaps, some opportunities to reduce the expenses. Timescales: closely connected to the budget, and likely one of the inquiries that the project managers are most frequently asked, i.e., when will the project be completed? Quality: completing the task on time and within the budget plan is not much of solace when the project doesn't work. Regarding PRINCE2, the project's products must be fit for a reason. Scope: what will the project convey? Without being aware of what to deliver, the different teams who are part of a project can frequently be experiencing some miscommunication about this. The client may accept that, for example, a fitted kitchen and additional restroom is incorporated into the cost of the house, though the provider sees these as extras. The definition of scope on substantial projects can be much more subtle and complex. There must be concurrence on the project scope, and the project chief needs an adequate comprehension of what is and what isn't inside the extension. The project manager should take care not to deliver beyond the scope, as this is a common wellspring of postponements, overspends, and uncontrolled change. Benefits: why are we doing this? Is perhaps the most often disregarded issue. It isn't sufficient to fabricate a firm effectively on time, inside a budgeting plan, and for quality purposes when you can't afford to take the benefit of working in it joyfully. The project manager must have a reasonable comprehension of the motivation behind the project as speculation and ensure that what the project conveys is predictable with accomplishing the coveted return. Risk: most projects involve risks. However, precisely what amount of risk are we set up to acknowledge? Would it be a good idea to construct a building that is close to the site of an available source, which might be prone to subsidence? In the meantime that we choose to proceed, we probably can enhance the foundation of the project or merely monitor with ongoing surveys. What are the various job roles in a PRINCE2 setup? The various job roles in a PRINCE2 are as follows: project executive, project assurance, project board, project manager, project support, senior supplier, senior user. What is the benefits management approach? The objective of the benefits management approach is to identify the benefits and measure to what extent the benefits have been reached. It is after that they are compared with the baseline measurements. What is a highlight report in PRINCE2? The highlight report is nothing but a report prepared by the project manager on the progress of the stage, which they present to the project board on a regular basis. The advantage of including a highlight report apart from the awareness of the progress is that it gives the status of the tolerances of cost, time, quality, risk, etc. What are the activities involved in the starting up the project process? Starting up the project process determines the feasibility and the business case of the project. The following activities are involved in the starting up the project process. Enabling the project mandate to get the information about the project, usually from a high-level person from the organization. Project brief to decide whether the project is feasible or not, and the project board decides if it needs to be initiated. Creating a business case in an iterative manner with simultaneous discussions with project managers, stakeholders, and the project board. Meetings are held to determine more detailed objectives and project requirements in order to save time during the implementation. What are the activities involved in the directing a project process? Direct a project phase involves the project board taking the accountability of the project's major/key decisions. There are 5 activities involved in the directing a project process. Authorizing initiation. Authorizing the project. Authorizing a stage or exception plan. Giving ad hoc direction. Authorizing project closure. What are the activities involved in the initiating a project process? Project initiation or initiating the project process is done to understand what kind of work needs to be done to deliver the product. The following activities are recommended by PRINCE2 in the above process. Creating a risk management plan. Change control approach. Quality management plan. Communication management. Project control, project plan and business case. Project initiation documentation. What are the activities involved in the managing a stage boundary process? Managing a stage boundary process mainly consists of 2 objectives. One is to measure the progress of the project and update the project plan and business case according to it. The second objective is to make sure the project board approves the current stage and approves the next stage. The following activities are involved in the process. Planning the next stage. Updating the project plan. Updating the business case. Report stage end. What are the activities involved in the controlling a stage process? The objective of controlling a stage process is assigning work that needs to be completed, and at the same time monitoring the progress, dealing with the issues, and reporting the progress of the same to the project board. The following activities are involved in the process. Authorize a work package. Review the work package status. Receive completed work packages. Review the stage status. Report highlights. Capture and examine risks and issues. Escalate risks and issues. Take corrective action. What are the activities involved in the closing a project process? The objective of closing a project process is to determine that the project has reached its conclusion and all the requirements have been satisfied. The activities involved in the process are as follows. Preparing planned closure. Preparing premature closure. Handover of products. Evaluating the project. Recommending project closure. What is a checkpoint report? Why is it important? The checkpoint report is a tool to measure the progress of the project. A team manager uses the checkpoint report to report to the project manager. They give the progress report, and the frequency of the checkpoint report is also determined in the work package by the project manager. The main objective of the checkpoint report is to assess the progress of the project. What is a project product description document? A project product description document is nothing but a document that contains the project scope, feasibility study, and project description as to how the customer's quality requirements will be met in the whole project. It ensures a structured document containing information about the acceptance criteria and responsibilities of the project. What is the quality review technique? For every project, several quality criteria are set so that the deliverables are created according to the customer's requirements. Now, to make sure that each deliverable has been made keeping in check the quality criteria, you can hold a quality review meeting. In a quality review meeting, there are 4 people involved: a chair, presenter, reviewer, and an administrator. The chair conducts the review, the presenter is responsible for presenting the product and represents the producer of the product. The reviewer has already done the review and provides the input and questions in the meeting. And last but not least, the administrator records the proceedings of the meeting. What is the product checklist document? A product checklist document is basically a layout that consists of essential information like completion dates, description of the product, the status of the product completion, etc. The objective of the product checklist is to keep track of the actual dates and proposed dates of completion and work on the product delays. The product checklist document is drafted only after the product description has been formulated, and the work package has been finalized. What is a lesson report? The lesson report contains the learnings from the lessons log combined to form a collective learning aspect from the lessons documented during the project. Sometimes, the lesson report can benefit even during the project, and mostly is reviewed and documented for future projects. It is similar to the retrospective meeting held at the end of the project, but instead of documenting at the end, the report documents the lessons starting from the beginning of the project. How does change management work in PRINCE2? In a PRINCE2 environment, there is a common approach to issue and change management known as change control. The main objective of the change control can be summarized by the following. How will the product be stored? Where will the product be stored? How will you secure the retrieval process from the storage? How will you identify the different versions of the product? How will you control the changes in the products? Who will be responsible for the configuration management? What is the end project report? Towards the end of the project manager produces the end project report for the project board to analyze and close the project. It mainly consists of the overview of the performance of the project into delivering the value to the customer. Being one of the most important processes before closing the project, the end project report is the review of the whole project in terms of determining how well the customer requirements have been satisfied. It verifies the deliverables mentioned in the business case and the project plan to make sure that everything went according to the project plan. What is a quality register? A quality register is nothing but a record of all the quality management activities that will be performed during the project for quality assurance. These activities can range from workshops, review meetings, testing, etc. The main objective of the quality register is to make sure that all the quality assurance activities are planned and documented in a proper schedule. After that, it makes sure that those activities are on track and measure the progress related to each activity. And, finally, at the end of the project, the quality register shows all the activities that took place in the quality management for the whole project. What is an issue register? The issue register is similar to a daily log. But, the only difference is that the issue register stores the information about the formal issues that are encountered during the project. The project manager maintains a document with information like issue ID, date, etc. And they are resolved by creating an issue report with similar or related issues put together to address a common shortcoming. What is a lesson log? In project management methodology, the retrospective sessions make sure that the lessons learned during the project help the further development. Similarly, in the PRINCE2 methodology, the lessons learned at each point of the project duration are documented in a lesson log. What is a daily log? A daily log is a document where all those entries are made that are generally not present in other essential project documents. These are informal entries, notes, etc. Usually, a project manager creates a document to capture all the necessary information about the project that is informal in the sense that it may have been missed from the project plan. For example, a project stakeholder meets for lunch and gives a really important insight about the project that will be useful for the project. Then the entry would be made in the daily log to keep track of this informal information regarding the project. What are the advantages of PRINCE2 and Scrum? The main difference between PRINCE2 and any other Agile methodology/framework is that the PRINCE2 approach is predictive, and the Agile methodology is adaptive like Scrum or Kanban, etc. The next advantage is that of the organization of teams, where PRINCE2 follows a more organized and hierarchical structure to plan and monitor their work. But, in Scrum methodology, the teams organize based on the sprint cycles and the tasks at hand. And moreover, the response to changes is very different between Scrum and PRINCE2 methodology. In the Scrum approach, the changes are applied as the project progresses, since the requirements can change at any moment. But, in the PRINCE2 methodology, the final product requirements are set beforehand. What are the advantages of PRINCE2 over Kanban? Kanban is more of a visualization tool that helps in increasing the efficiency of the teams with enhanced visibility of the progress of their work. PRINCE2, on the other hand, is more of a project management methodology that drives a project management setup in an organization. Instead of looking for the advantages of Kanban over PRINCE2, it is better to use Kanban with PRINCE2. Most of the practicing project managers would suggest using Kanban for managing the project's progress and keeping track of the rest of the project plan. How can PRINCE2 improve overall project management in an organization? The PRINCE2 methodology can help the overall project management in an organization in the following ways: flexibility, communication, versatile framework, clearly defined roles and responsibilities, effective risk management, effective stakeholder management, management by exception. What are the disadvantages of PRINCE2? Even though PRINCE2 methodology is flexible with all sorts of projects, there are a few shortcomings that may hinder the project in the long run. Here are some of the disadvantages of the PRINCE2 methodology. PRINCE2 does not provide any opportunity that includes idea generation on any pre-project or pre-sales activities. It also does not include post-project verification and maintenance or improvement activities. The PRINCE2 approach, acknowledged across the globe, is utilized as it avoids going into detail about the many techniques on projects. Planning, estimating, risk identification, and investment appraisals are the range of methods of project management that PRINCE2 does not describe in the way to use them. Leadership ability, motivational skills, and other interpersonal skills are immensely important in project management. From autocratic to consensus-based, Bears this out, PRINCE2 cannot address this aspect of project management directly. In PRINCE2 methodology, it is not necessary for a project manager to perform a detailed risk analysis or execute risk management attentively. Embedded with risk identification, planning, and control, PRINCE2 deals with the end goal by overcoming the risks consistently at each stage that has access to the projects. In any organization, the quality management system is the one-stop area as it holds the end-to-end procedure of business analysis, solution design, development, testing, and deployment that guarantees the delivery of project management. PRINCE2 likewise does not order the prerequisite for an organization-wide quality management system, QMS. Since PRINCE2 does not characterize how venture exercises ought to complete, the necessity for a QMS does not exist. PRINCE2 does not necessitate a detailed financial explanation for a project that utilizes NPV, IRR, payback analysis, or some other technique. PRINCE2 does not discuss tracking project progress through earned value analysis. PRINCE2 anticipates the project execution in different stages that are defined and for the activities to continually check whether it is conveying the expected value to the stakeholders. PRINCE2 is entirely genetic. Organizational change management or procurement such as engineering models, project life cycles, agile methods, or specific techniques can be used readily alongside PRINCE2. Such specialist aspects need to be identified and included within the project scope and plans. With this, we have reached the end of the session. We hope all that has been discussed in this session helps you clear your PRINCE2 interview with flying colors. If you have any questions, you can mention them in the comments below. And also tell us about the other interview questions that you want us to cover as well. Also, don't forget to like, share and subscribe to Invensis Learning for more exciting and detailed tutorials. Thank you, and good luck with your future endeavors.